You are listening to This is Oklahoma, hosted by Mike Hearn, telling stories of Oklahomans and those that have made it their home.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of This is Oklahoma. Mike Hearn here, your host, back with another episode. Exciting news. This podcast is presented by the Oklahoma Hall of Fame, who have been telling Oklahoma's story through its people since 1927. Follow them online at oklahomahof.com, and then definitely follow them on Instagram for all the information that you need, because I'm sure that's where you follow us as well, at oklahomahof. Let's get into today's episode.
Up at the headquarters of Air Comfort Solutions today. A lot of people, Stephanie, if you live in Oklahoma, you live in Moore, you live in Tulsa, you would have seen Air Comfort Solutions, the logo, the ads, and one of their famous spokesmen is with me today, who you all know his football story. Sorry for everyone listening, who's probably seen Jason's name on the bio of this podcast and thinking they're going to dive into Jason's history. You guys can do that on Google. There's a lot of awesome information, and you'll learn a lot more from Google than you will from me. So what we're going to do today is going to dive into the Air Comfort Solutions story, and how, Jason, how you fit into all that, and how you've been an ambassador for the business and continue to work for the business. But May, I really appreciate your time.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
It's a weird time at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah, very weird. Just like when you walked in earlier, you want to shake hands, but you can't. And trying to keep a safe distance is kind of makes you feel awkward.
Yeah, it's just super strange. Being from the UK, everyone back home is in a strict stay in the house policy. They're only allowed out kind of 1 hour a day for exercise, and it's the government is paying 80% of everyone's wages back home too.
Oh, wow.
Which is interesting. I think for about 12 weeks.
Wow.
Which is, yeah. I talked to my brother yesterday about it. He's an outdoors kind of guy, so he's kind of climbing the walls.
I bet.
There's only so many hours of the day you can play Call of Duty for. But how's it kind of been affecting you guys? I mean, have you...
for us, we've had to, go by the CDC guidelines because we are an essential business. Not only do we do heat and air, we do plumbing and electrical. So those are all services that people still need, and especially people with being at home right now. Sometimes you get a customer that will just put off fixing their air conditioner because they're never there. They work all the time, and they're just like, you know what? I get home at 8 o'clock and it's cool enough by then. I can just open my windows. But people are now at home, and so they're at home throughout the day, and they want that air conditioning. And plus, regardless, you want that filtration through your house. If you do have some kind of virus coming into your house, you want that filtration of the air to go through the system. So, but we're still open. We're still doing business. We're obviously following those guidelines of making sure that we're taking temperatures of our employees and making sure that they're using hand sanitizer during and after the calls. Doing our best to keep everybody protected, including our employees.
And this kind of comes at, I guess, usually a busy time for you guys, right? Because everyone's now going through winter and now turning their AC on for spring and realizing that it's kind of not working. We need some help.
Right. So we usually start our spring tune-ups. We call them tune-ups. And so it's just the spring maintenance. We usually start around March, and this is just kind of threw a wrench in it because there's some people that do not want anybody in their house regardless. Maybe they're compromised or elderly, and so they do not want anybody in their house regardless. So as many tune-ups as we run, we have to call the customers, make sure they're okay with us coming.
Sure.
But for the most part, we've had quite a few that are still wanting us there. They see our guys taking the precautions. So it's we're still trying to do normal business. It's not as busy as it normally would be, I would guess, but it's still pretty busy, and we're still here for that need.
Yeah. And, looking at kind of past what you guys have done and what the business has done, there's a reason that you're consistently voted like the best in the state for it, right? You provide a better service and go the extra mile for a lot more customers.
We do our best to take care of our customers the same day. If they call us in the morning, we try our best to get out. In fact, if you're on a maintenance agreement, with us, that's one of your guarantees is that you will get same-day service. And so, we do our best to, stick with that, especially in a time like now where people are stuck in their house. They want that AC working because they don't want 5 kids and 2 adults just sweating it out all day. So we do our best to, get out there same day, get everything fixed. And, also during this time, it's a time for us to also give back as well. We've given away over 10,000 pizzas with the help of CC's and Valor and Norman. And then we also, right now, we're giving away boxes of Cusack meat to families in need. So people are registering online for that to give people that. So we've been delivering that. So we're also taking this time to give back and try to do everything we can during this time of need. And you're just shocked. You're shocked at the impact those things have on people. I've got people delivering boxes of meat, and people are breaking down and crying because they have nothing, and they have no way to get to the store. They can't be around people, so we leave the box on the front porch, and we call them, let them know it's there. They step out, grab it, and they've got hopefully some food for their family.
Yeah, and it's doing, you haven't just started doing this, helping the community and doing this, obviously this kind of pandemic is not good, but this isn't just like, Air Comfort Solutions is doing this because everyone else is doing this. This is something the company has done for a very long time, regardless if it's a pandemic or not. Like, you've always been a part of the community and always helped out through bunches of different, foundations and stuff like that.
Right. It's, it's just part of our mission. We understand that there's needs, and we do our best to try to help with those needs. I know a couple years ago, we gave when the schools were in the shortage for paper, we ordered a bunch of paper and gave it to local schools. So we got word that elementary teachers were using their own money to go buy paper so they could their kids could color or draw. And so we took the incentive to go out and buy some paper and deliver it to these schools. And then also a couple years ago, we were having the teacher pay issue, and we decided that we're going to go around and try to give these teachers some money to do what they want with. This wasn't, hey, you're going to use this for your classroom. This is personally, we appreciate the sacrifice that you're making in teaching our kids. And so we gave away $5,000 to random teachers just for their personal use, and just things like that. But you know what? Even at that, us giving that money, us giving that paper, to find out what these teachers did with that money is amazing, because you would think that they're going to go buy them a new outfit, take care. Most of them used it for their classroom. Yeah. And so that just goes to show you kind of like the Oklahoma way is we're giving to them and they're turning around and giving it back to their students. And that, that's just, it's kind of the Oklahoma way.
Yeah. They're not going and, buying themselves a new car and then moving to Texas to get paid more. Right. 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 Like, which is what kind of, that was the huge, during that time, the teacher strikes, that was kind of a big argument too, was that, if we move to Texas, well, every true Oklahoman doesn't want to move to Texas, right? Yeah. So going back, born and raised in Tuttle, played high school football in Tuttle for the Tigers. And then, you go to OU, have a great time at OU, through some medical issues, get Heisman Trophy. Congrats on that, by the way. Thank Amazing. And then, with the medical issues and stuff like that, things don't go the way you want them to go. Where does, Air Comfort Solutions come in after, you graduate?
I had a little brief stint in the NFL. Was with the Tennessee Titans for about 9 months, and partially tore my right ACL again. Still to this day didn't get it fixed, but that was kind of, at that point, it was to make a decision of do I move forward and have another surgery and try to come back from this, or do I just go ahead and start close that chapter of my life and move forward? And after talking to several guys that have been through serious medical issues decided that it would be best that, I just shut that chapter and move forward. Like, I'm 39 now and still able to do, most things active.
Yeah.
And, that's kind of what every person I talked to said. One of these days you're going to want to be able to play basketball with your kids, or, those were things that I was thinking at that time. And because it was told to me by people that have been through it. And so decided to retire from football at that time and immediately started looking for a job. My ambitions was to be a football coach. And I think the way I had to leave football kind of left a bad taste in my mouth. And then plus I had a daughter at that time who was 2 years old, actually 3 years old. And I wanted to be able to spend that time with her.
Yeah.
And being a coach, you don't get much family time. And so decided to start looking for a job. Ended up being an investment broker for a short time. Then I had some retail stores. We sold OU and OSU apparel. Mm-hmm. And during that time is when I was approached by Air Comfort to do some radio advertising.
Okay. And
it was just a little 3-month deal during football season, and really hit it off with the owner. Instantly, the very first conversation we had, we hit it off, and we did a little 3-month stint. And then after that was over, he asked if I would be interested in doing a longer contract and doing more, maybe some print, some TV stuff. Mm-hmm. And I said, yeah. And then it turned into 2010, pretty much came on full time. Handled a lot of different things, wore a lot of different hats, mm-hmm. But mainly customer service issues was kind of my focus. And then just continued to grow from there. And here we are in 2020. Last year I took over the commercial department in September. And so that's kind of been my focus, is, commercial customers that have big buildings, or trying to take care of their needs for HVAC.
Yeah. And so people looking from the outside, it's not just, hi, I'm Jason White. I'm by Air Comfort Solutions, or you actually have a job and you do work, and you don't just play golf every day, right? Which is, I'm sure, what we both love to be doing.
Exactly. But it's really fun to go to a business and show up, or even back when I was doing residential things, going to a house and the people answering the door, the reaction I get is kind of funny. Yeah. Like, why are you here? Well, I'm definitely not going to fix your air conditioner, right, but I'm going to try to help you. Yeah. So just to get that reaction, because a lot of people think I am just the face. Mm-hmm. And I've been involved since 2010, pretty much on a regular basis. Yeah.
And it goes a long way too. I'm sure even the OSU fans are happy to see you show up at the door sometimes, right?
Yeah. And that's Oklahoma for you, though. It's that you have a few diehards on both sides that will not. They don't want nothing to do with you. Yeah. And that's one of the reasons we've brought on different people to help out. Brandon Whedon has done some things with us. He was quarterback at OSU, so to try to help out with that OSU, because we're Oklahoma. We're statewide in Oklahoma. So, we also have those, OSU fans that have that same need. We want to cater to them too. So it's kind of cool to be able to work with a guy from OSU and be a part of that. But for the most part, it's amazing to see, the response you get from people whenever you do show up, or you make that phone call to make sure that their system, that was installed and they're happy. Yeah. I've had a lot of people convinced that it's not me over the phone. Like, oh, this is just some guy in the office that's calling, saying that they're Jason White. And so I say, well, if this is a cell phone, I'll send you a picture. Yeah. And I've done that several times just to prove hey, this is me. I am talking to you. So, it's been a great ride, and, continue to look to grow Air Comfort and move forward, in any manner I can.
And you mentioned Brandon. You guys were working together recently, I guess a few weeks ago, right? Mm-hmm. Giving awards out and stuff. Yeah. I saw the picture on the Instagram.
So Tim Tebow puts on this event called Night to Shine, and I can't remember the exact number of proms, but they do a special needs prom.
Okay.
And it's one night, and every prom is on that night across the nation. Actually, it might be across the world, but every prom is that night. And so Brandon got involved. Basically, we go and take pictures with the kids, and then they have a separate section for the parents of the kids. And when we went over there, we gave away a heat and air system to a lady that hasn't had heat and air, and she has some special needs kids. I think she has 2 of them.
Yeah.
And her heat and air system hasn't worked in years, and so they were able to find that out through multiple people saying, "Hey, this lady would be the person to give that to," and we ended up donating an entire heat and air system to her, and actually went out and installed it and got them, heat and air.
Yeah, that's pretty special experience, right?
Yeah,
to be able to do this and stuff, and like just kind of, be given that opportunity to change someone's life like that. It's and just kind of, and there's opportunities like that every day, right? You see these people every day, and you do something that's changing someone's life, whether it's, just an AC tune-up, and they see either you, or they see the van, or they see the business, whatever it is. Like, it's not just like a business that's, it's not just like your normal business. Say, oh yeah, you're coming and changing a TV, right? This is an essential part of someone's house.
All right. And I think that's and it's one of the things we try to tell our customers is it's really not a whole lot different than a car. Like, you have to maintain a car. If you don't change the oil, it's not going to run properly.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with your heat and air system. And, we try to educate our customers to understand that, and that way they get the best life out of that system.
Yeah.
But, the amount of things we give back, people don't have a clue, because we don't want the accolades for, we might see a news story on TV and call the news station and say, hey, we're willing to help, but we don't want...
You don't want the logo, don't want blasted all over. It's not what we're here for.
Done that several times.
Right.
I can think of a veteran that a couple years ago that they showed a story on TV, and I called the news station and said, hey, we're willing to help, but no cameras, no mention. And we went and put a system in the guy's house, and they came and did some shots of the new system and never mentioned us, and we're okay with that. Like, we do it all the time, and we do our best to, try to give back for the right reasons. We're not giving back to get, to promote our company. We're giving back because these are people that are in need.
Yeah.
And we would rather just, do it under the table than
sure.
let people know.
Word of mouth goes a lot further, right, than just a 30 or 1 minute, whatever, video on the news. Right.
Yeah, and you're helping these people, and they have families, and as soon as they call their family and say, hey, we just got a new heat and air unit installed or donated by Air Comfort, and word travels fast, and usually we'll get several thank you letters from people that maybe even neighbors of that person saying, hey, you guys have no idea how much this helped with their family. And even right now, I'm getting several emails and DMs on social media of, you guys are amazing, thank you for doing this.
Right.
So it's really rewarding as well.
Yeah, it goes back to, before this, like I said, before this pandemic, before what's currently happening, it's just something that's just the culture of the company does. Yeah. Even before this, ever since I've been involved, and probably even, before I got involved, the owners always had a great, heart, to give back, and continues to do that, for the last, ever since they opened in 2006. Yeah, I thought it was. The 2006 is, considering how big the business is and how much impact the business has, you would look at the business, and if I went out on the street and asked people how long do you think Air Comfort Solutions has been open, you'd probably think it's been open 50, 60 years, right? Because of just how much the impact and how much, the reach that it has and the way people see the business. But to have that impact in such a short amount of time speaks volumes.
Yeah, it's a lot of people think we've been around for 50 years, but the owner's done a great job of putting things in place and putting procedures in place that kind of separates us from our competition. Mm-hmm. And people want service. That's why it's a service company. And if you can offer them service that same day and not have to spread it out over a week, people want that. And now it's not a good fit for everybody, but most people want it done, and they want their heaters on now if it's freezing outside, right, or if it's 100 degrees, they want that AC to be working. Yeah. So we try to do our best to make sure that we get everything done the same day.
Mm-hmm. And being in Oklahoma, it was 85 degrees a couple of days ago, almost 90, and you get a north wind, and now it's down 45, 50. So
yeah, it's supposed to be in the 40s on Friday. So it's one of those states where you're going to get the worst of the winter, and you're going to get the best of the summer. Yeah. So, but it's been that way growing up as a kid. You could count on it being windy and hot.
That's not ideal golfing weather. I know that much. Mm-hmm. I grew up playing golf in the wind back home, but it was more like it's 30 degrees and it's windy, and golf ball doesn't go very far, whereas if it's warm wind out here, the golf ball still travels.
Yes.
Noticed on social media too that I guess AD's doing some stuff for you guys. Is that right?
Yeah, Adrian came down a few weeks ago and shot some commercials with me. I played my senior year. He was a freshman. He was running back when my senior year, and so great guy. Can't believe he's still playing in the league. That's football's a rough sport, and for a guy to survive that long and be as physical as he is, that shows what kind of person or what kind of statue he has. Mm-hmm. But yeah, he came down. He actually called me and asked me about the company before he took the gig, sure. And I told him all the things we do, and he said, I'd love to be a part of that. Yeah. And so, to have him on board and do some things with us it's fun. It's fun for me, to get back around some of these guys and for a good cause. And, ours is to continue to provide great service and, continue to grow and better our company.
Yeah. And, like I said, he's been in it a very long time, and I'm sure you mentioned he phoned you to find out, what's it really like. Well, I'm sure, him and you and people in your position get phone calls all the time of, hey, will you do this? Will you do that? And you definitely turn down more than you take because the company just wants you to say something, right? You've really got to believe in that, the mission. And there's people who don't, obviously, but, it seems like you're onto a winner here. And obviously he wouldn't do it if he didn't believe in what's going on.
Yeah, that was one of the things that in the very beginning, when I actually got approached, I done some checking. I done a lot of checking, actually, because I wasn't just going to put my name on something that I had no clue about their history or what kind of service they provide. So, I called competitors, to find out, hey, what do you guys think about Air Comfort Solutions? And obviously a competitor is probably not going to have anything great to say. Right. But I took that into account and then came around the office a little bit to see kind of how they worked. And, it was a good fit for me. I believe in everything that we do. And, customer service has always been, our top priority. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
To go a different direction for a lot more of the fun stuff that you get to do, you do, I'm sure, get to play quite a bit of golf. Yeah. And you guys have a golf tournament every year, don't you?
Well, actually, we didn't have it last year, and obviously with everything going on, probably not this year. But hopefully we can get back on that track. That first year that we had our golf tournament, I think we raised $150,000 for the teachers and that's where we gave $5,000 to different teachers. But that's always been a great event for us. And besides the one for Air Comfort, I get asked to play in several golf tournaments, as I'm sure you do too, because you're probably the A player.
The go-to, right?
the D player. But it's it's a good place to be. You make a lot of connections on the golf course. I don't think people realize that golf, yes, as it is a competitive sport, but it's also a great place to get to know somebody or make connections or even just network. And so I enjoy playing golf. I'm very up and down. So one day I could feel like could shoot a par, and then the next day I'm pushing 100. So but as an athlete, it's one of those sports that you just want to play because it's competitive,
right?
And I don't think you can ever master golf.
Yeah, I agree with that.
It's just one of those sports that you're going to have to continue to practice it to be good at it.
Mm-hmm. Was it something you grew up playing, or did you just take to it after you?
I did not touch a golf club until after I was out of college.
Yeah. Was that tough?
Yes.
Because it is the most frustrating sport in the world, isn't
absolutely.
it?
And so my very first golf tournament that I played in, it was actually for the Heisman Trophy, and I had no clue. I mean, I actually Googled like rules and all that, because I didn't want to be that guy that did something wrong. And so I made sure that I was trying to just like, maybe people don't know this, but you don't walk in the line of somebody's ball on the green. And so those are things that I had to read up on, because I didn't want to be that guy it looked like he didn't know what he was doing. So, but after that first golf tournament, I played terrible, obviously, but that gave me that ambition to, hey, you know what? Let's see what I can do here. Let's practice and get better at this, because I'm probably going to be playing in a few more of these. So I took the incentive to actually went out and bought clubs and everything, and it's kind of history from there.
Yeah, kind of got to relive the competitive stuff and keep it going. And I mean, that's the great thing about golf, is you can play till you're 85 or 90 or 100, right? It's it's just one of those sports that, and like you said, you can't truly master it.
Right.
But and again, like whenever you're going to spend 4.5, 5 hours of time with somebody,
right?
It's great for building relationships, businesses. I was speaking to a friend of mine who family owns the Diffie Ford dealership down in El Reno. I think he played with you maybe last year, a couple of years ago.
John?
Gan.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said, play golf with you guys and had a great time. And, he talks about that. Mm-hmm. It's not just, hey, I saw Jason, he signed my hat and that's it, right?
Yeah, we spent 4 hours on the golf course, and I got to watch and see how terrible he is at golf.
He's going to love that. Oh, that's brilliant.
Yeah, I get a lot of comments playing golf like, oh, yeah, we see why you played football, or, something like that. But that just, for me, is that's kind of like that jab of, like, that makes me go.
Is there, in your experience, is there more trash talking in football than there is in golf?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot more guys talking.
Okay.
So.
But you can kind of get, I guess, when you're around, you get comfortable with people playing. Scrambles is probably difficult because you just met that person for the first time.
Right.
And the last thing you want to do for yourself and the image of the business is start ripping them on their golf swing.
Exactly.
But, I'm sure with your buddies, I'm sure there's a lot of trash talking still going on.
Yeah, I've got a good friend of mine. Every time we play golf, we are competitive with every single shot. Mm-hmm. Like off the tee box, it's best drive in the fairway. Yeah. So whoever has the best drive in the fairway, they get a point. And then from that, if you're 150 and in, it's closest to the pin. Now, if you're 150 and out, it's best shot from there. But it always has to be in the fairway. It has to be on the green. It's super competitive. But we tally up the points at the end, and we're usually pretty close.
Yeah.
And so, but it's super. It's a way to still, remain competitive.
Yeah. You play all around the state?
I've played pretty much around the state.
Yeah. But you have a home golf course?
Not really. I mean,
No.
I play a lot at Belmar. Used to play a lot at Winter Creek, and then play quite a bit at Gallardia as well.
Yeah. But still, you know, the competitive side of you, it's not like, I just play golf just because it's, you know, for work.
Yeah, no.
You're into it now, right?
Oh,
You've
yeah,
got the bug,
yeah.
and it's...
Yeah, I've had it for a while, and anytime you can walk away and say that you won, like I'm in. Like that's something I want to try.
What does it compare? Like pressures compare at all? The pressure, like if you know you're playing with your mate and you're simulating the pressure, and it's it's not
at
for
all.
a championship, but it's like
I'm sure it would if it was
the elite level.
Yes.
Okay.
Actually, it'd probably be more.
Yeah.
Just knowing how I feel when I play with my buddies, or you might have to make this 10-foot putt to win that day.
Right.
Like when you're just out there playing with your buddies, there's pressure.
Right.
But it's not like third and 10. So there's a different pressure, but I'm sure at the elite level, the pressure is through the roof.
Yeah.
A lot like if you're, third and 10 and you're down by 7. There's a lot of pressure to get that first down.
Do you have a goal of playing in the Tahoe tournament for the celebrity one out there?
No.
Because there's quite a lot of football players playing that, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah, and they do a great event out. I think it's in California. It's called Sooners in the Desert, but it's a great event out there. But yeah, I mean, I've played in Vegas in celebrity tournaments. Anytime I get the chance, it's fun for me to go and see other courses and at other states. Obviously, I feel like Oklahoma's courses are beautiful, especially in the spring when everything's green, and the courses here are amazing. But it's neat to go out and see other courses as well, different states.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite that you've been to?
I didn't get to play it, but I got to walk it. I mean, Augusta was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Just to go to the Masters and walk that course and like stand in the same spots that you've seen on TV, like you've seen a guy hit a shot right here to win the Masters, or just to stand in those same places.
Top of the hill on 15, looking down and stuff
it's
like
amazing.
That. I've not been yet, but a lot of people say it's a lot more undulating than it looks on TV.
Oh, it's amazing. The grass is like carpet.
Really?
Yeah, you when you're walking on it, you're just like, man, I just want to take my shoes off and walk. But it's amazing the shape they keep that in.
Yeah, it's on the bucket list for sure. Well, kind of got a little bit off track there. I'm sorry for everyone listening. Yes, I could talk golf for absolutely days. But I mean, it's the best sport in the world, I think, outside of football for you, right?
Yeah.
Does it still feel weird watching football for you?
My first year out of football, it was difficult to watch it. And I think it's because of the reason I, had to retire, or the reason I left the game. It was really hard to watch it because I felt like I could still do it. I should be out there. And so it was really hard. But since then, the only reason it's difficult for me, and a lot of anybody listening that's played football or was a quarterback and a student of the game, or you watch it differently.
Okay.
Like let's just say that the OU is on offense and Texas is on defense. Well, a lot of fans are watching OU's offense, like that's the team. Well, as a former player, quarterback, you are looking at the defense. You're looking at the same things that you would look at as if you were on the field playing quarterback. So, one of the first things that I always looked for was the safeties. And so even to this day, that's one of the first things I look when they come to the line of scrimmage is, okay, how many safeties are there? Are there one or two? And then you start looking at other things that you went through for so long that it's just natural now to watch. So it's probably not as enjoyable, and I try to get away from that, but that's just how I watch it.
Yeah.
And so, it's a little bit different than probably most fans, but I still enjoy it.
Yeah. Still go down to OU, Texas every year?
I don't go every year, but I still go. It's one of the best games to actually go to, especially being in the middle of the Texas State Fair. The scenery is unbelievable, and to have a college football game right in the middle of a fair, I mean, it just doesn't happen. And until someone experiences it, I can even remember as a player getting off the bus and the smell. I mean, it's State Fair smell, corn dogs, funnel cake, you smell all that. And so as a player, you're getting off the bus and that's what you're smelling. And then after the game, it's the same thing. Like, you just remember those things. And it's one of the best games I ever was a part of.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. Just for the whole scene, the whole...
Oh, it's just amazing. People don't understand the feeling of running down that tunnel. There's a tunnel you run out on the field. And when you run out on the field, the stadium is perfectly split. I mean, you notice it right off the bat. I mean, you got burnt orange over here, and then you got crimson over here. And it's like you can see the line where it's at. And it's funny, too, because you can see... They might have like a splatter of red right in the middle of the Texas fans. And so that, you're always thinking, man, I feel bad for them people.
Taking their lives into their own hands.
But, it's definitely in the top 3 places I've played, just because of the history of it, the atmosphere of it, and usually the importance of it. A lot of times whoever wins that game is playing in the Big 12 championship, so it's an important game.
Yeah. What were the other 2 in the top 3?
Texas A&M was amazing. Just their tradition they have there. And at one point during the game, the fans, they sway back and forth like this, and I ain't kidding you, the whole stadium moves. And it's actually been recorded that it actually does move.
It actually does move.
And so that's a really unique place to play. And then the last one would be Alabama.
Okay.
Tuscaloosa. We played a night game there, and I'd never forget going to the stadium and the tradition they have of the tailgating. You drive down one street, and it is packed side to side. And then, just to walk out on their field, knowing the history of Bear Bryant, all that, it was definitely an amazing place.
Yeah. I think one of the videos that I've seen is the West Virginia Stadium where they come out to Enter Sandman. And that looks insane.
Yeah.
I'm sure the stadium moves in that one as well.
Right.
That's not an experience I'm probably going to have to watch videos to even think of how amazing that experience would be for you to walk out and do those experiences. That's what every kid growing up playing football dreams of, right?
Yeah, exactly. And especially growing up in Oklahoma, always was a Sooner fan. I can remember far back as Dad listening to the Sooners play on Saturday on the radio. I remember hearing the announcers talk about Brian Bosworth and Keith Jackson and Cale Gundy and all those guys. So, you're living that dream. And in fact, they weren't really recruiting me in the beginning because they had a different coach at OU. So I actually was going to move to Miami, Florida, and play for the Hurricanes. And then Coach Stoops came in at the last minute. He started recruiting me, and I took a trip over there. And at the end of the day, that was my dream growing up was right. I wanted to be the guy on that radio that Dad was listening to. And so, to have that opportunity, and especially with the coach that came in and the coaches he was bringing in, I knew it would be a great opportunity for him.
He likes his golf too, right?
He does.
You play with him quite a bit?
I play with him quite a bit. Good golfer. And he's also one of them guys that he's competitive, but it's not so competitive it's not fun.
Sure. He's not getting pissed off and snapping golf clubs because he's, thinning bunker shots or whatever. Right. Not that we know of anyway. Right?
Yeah.
What was, back to Air Comfort Solutions, I was never here when Gary England was like famous, right? I wasn't famous. I mean, he's still Oklahoma famous, right? But I was never here when he was on TV and doing his thing. You obviously grew up listening to him on TV, right? And watching him and doing the Oklahoma thing where there's a tornado, like you're on your back porch probably watching it.
Yes.
What was that like?
It was neat.
Yeah.
The very first shoot that I did with Gary, I was actually nervous because this is a guy that you've seen on TV your entire life, and you've only seen him during his work time, and a lot of times that you've seen him, it was serious situations, so that's all I knew of him, and to get to actually meet him and work with him was awesome, because I think a lot of people nowadays, it even happens with me, but a lot of people nowadays, they take what their view of somebody is just from TV or what they do for a living, and they kind of make judgment on how they are. And I caught myself doing that with Gary England, as I'm sure he's a serious guy that's straight to the point. Well, the first time I meet him, he's a jokester, like laughing the whole time. He's, hiding people's phones. I mean, he's just a jokester. And so to see that was amazing. And at that point was when I was like, you can't make those judgments based off what you see on TV. And to be around him and get to work with him like that was a unique experience.
Yeah, definitely. And I've watched the commercial, he talks about his cat, and it seems like he's being very, like, he's being himself.
Yeah.
It's not, and I've watched some of the videos he's done in the past, and some of the tornadoes that he's had to cover and stuff like that. Like, it's a completely different person. You're right. Yeah. So I'm sure that was kind of a cool experience. Was Mom and Dad kind of like freaking out, just like, you just met Gary England?
Yeah, I was telling Dad that that day I said, I get to go work with Gary England today, and his first thing was ask him how the weather's going to be, because that's how people know him.
Right.
And even today, if you follow him on Twitter or anything like that, like, that's one of the questions that a lot of people ask, like, hey, Gary, what's the 5-day forecast?
Sure.
That's how he's known. And so, to be able to share with my family that, Gary England's a jokester. He likes to, play pranks on people, and he's a normal guy. That's unique.
Yeah, definitely. With this whole situation at the moment, everyone's going through, every day is different. But we're just sitting with you now for 45 minutes. I don't see you, up and leaving and deciding to go somewhere else, right? This feels like that you're going to be with Air Comfort Solutions for a while, or even for a long time, and maybe forever. Where do you see, being around the company for so long, where do you see it going? Where would you like it to go? What's kind of like, this year's direction obviously is a bit different now. There was obviously goals and all the rest of it, but where's the company going, and kind of forget 2020, because I think everyone else wants to forget it. But, in the future, where is it going?
We've continued to grow. We're actually, we got a location in Tulsa now, and it's been there for a few years, and we want to continue to grow and try to get statewide to offer these same services that we offer in Oklahoma City and Tulsa and Edmond, Norman. We want to offer those same services throughout the state. And the reason that we haven't done it yet is we're not comfortable knowing that we can't offer that service if we have to drive all the way to Guyman. Mm-hmm. We can't offer that same day service. And so we're in the process of, trying to get to that point where we're comfortable knowing that they're going to get the exact same service as if they lived in Oklahoma City.
Sure.
And so anytime you get out to those rural areas, it's difficult because it's quite a bit of a drive. Mm-hmm. But they have the same need. And in fact, I was talking to a guy that lives in Enid, and they can't get service for like a week and a half. And he was begging that I send somebody to Enid to fix his unit because they're at home.
Yeah.
And fortunately, he was able to get it fixed. But the other places are a week and a half because they're big towns, but they just don't have as many heat and air companies there.
Right.
So, hopefully we continue to work towards that goal. And then, just to better our services for our customers. We do the best we can. We make mistakes, and, we try to learn from those mistakes and get better as a company so we don't continue to make those mistakes. So, I see us continuing to grow. And even during this time that we are in now, we're still able to offer those services. And sometimes those services are more needed right now than they ever have been.
Yeah.
And so to be able to, come through in situations like that now, it's a good feeling. And, I think we're headed in the right direction with that.
Yeah. And that's one thing that, just reading up and doing some research, that Air Comfort Solutions doesn't just, it's quite hard to get a job, right? Here. Like it's very process. It's not easy. You've got to be qualified. You've got to do what you've got to do and prove yourself as a tech to do the things that you do. And that's another thing with growing pains, right? You could service the entire state, but at the same time, that service isn't going to be what you're used to, and you fight that battle. So I'm sure going forward, it'll be really cool to see the company grow but grow it the right way and maintain control of how it grows. Not, hey, we're going to hire 1,000 new people and now we service more of the state. Well, it's not going to do well for the business in 10 years, right?
Right. So when we hire a new tech, there's certain procedures they have to go through to learn our business, how we do things and what we expect from our techs. And so that would be tough to do. And that's one reason we are trying to take baby steps in growing that, is because we want that same value that we offer here to be anywhere we are. Yeah. And so if we can't offer that, then, we need to continue to work to get to that.
Cool. Well, I'm going to finish up with some quick fire questions. I say quick fire, they're not that quick fire, but bucket list golf course.
Ooh. To play?
Yeah.
Augusta.
Favorite moment on the field?
Ooh. Winning the Big 12 championship in 2004.
Favorite moment as a fan?
Ooh. I would have to say I think watching Baker, just his story is unbelievable. And I think watching him join the Heisman fraternity was really big for me, just because his story and his never give up attitude, and to see him, actually be rewarded for that, like that was a big moment.
Yeah. Doesn't OU have the most Heisman, maybe?
Tied. Yeah.
So hopefully soon enough.
Yeah, hopefully.
Maybe if this season gets rolling. That's really cool. Go-to Netflix series at the moment?
At the moment? Well, unfortunately, I just finished Tiger King.
Okay.
So we'll leave it at that.
We'll leave it at that. Are you a car guy? A car guy?
Yes.
So if you could drive one car for the rest of your life, what would it be?
One car?
Yeah. And you can have like a $500 or $1,000 banger to get you around, but like family and stuff. But like if you could have one car.
61 Impala, bubble top.
Okay. Dream 4-ball. They could be living or they could be deceased.
Idol?
Yeah, like who would you love to play golf with?
Oh, okay. Oh, that's tough because this comes on a tough day for me. So, and I know she wouldn't be very good at golf, but to have her for 4 or 5 hours would be great. It'd be my mom.
Uh-huh. That'd be really cool. Coke or Dr. Pepper?
Coke.
That's going to hit a lot of Oklahomans listening to this. Pizza or wings?
Pizza.
And win the British Open or join Augusta? I think I know the answer to this already.
I think you're going to be wrong, because I would much rather win than just play.
All right. So you wouldn't want to play Augusta, be a member forever?
Not if I was going to be the winner.
All right.
So, yeah.
You'd win the Open Championship?
Yes.
At which golf course, if you could choose? Have you been over there to play golf?
No.
Oh, you got to do that. You have to do that.
No.
It's amazing.
I don't know which course.
Links golf's different.
It is.
I can ask you that question whenever you do that, because it's such a good experience. If you love playing golf here, you love traveling and playing golf. Like it's one experience that get a few buddies together, do it for 3 weeks, and knock out 10 golf courses, and you'll have a great
3 weeks?
time. Oh yeah, you'll have a great time. Like you can't go over there for 7 days, play 10 rounds of golf, and you'll hate life and hate golf as well. But if you do it over 3 weeks, that's enough time to like play and travel. And anyway, I'm talking about golf too much. Mate, this has been awesome. Really appreciate it.
No problem. Thanks for having us on.
How can people reach out? How can they get involved with Air Comfort Solutions? And also, if they need any help, how can they do that as well?
They can look at our Facebook page. Also, we have a web page, aircomfortsolutions.com. Usually we put, everything about us is on there, but people that want to know exactly what's going on, at this moment, our Facebook page, that's how people can sign up for, our meat giveaways and things. So we stay pretty up to date with that.
All right. Awesome. Thanks for listening, guys, and we'll catch you next episode. Cheers.
This podcast was presented by the Oklahoma Hall of Fame, who've been telling Oklahoma's story through its people since 1927. Follow them online at oklahomahof.com and definitely on Instagram at oklahomahof. Catch you next episode. Cheers.
Thank you for listening. We are inspired by those around us and hope that you are too. Make sure you subscribe to this podcast on your favorite podcast platform and leave us a review so we can keep telling your stories. For more great Oklahoma content, follow This Is Oklahoma on Facebook and Instagram.